Page 21, Starlight. 4/4 time, 1 sharp. So it's either in G major or E minor. Well, you take a look at it at the end of it, the bottom of page 23. The last couple measures here. That sounds G major to me. Yeah, so I'm going to guess this is in G major. Right hand, when it comes in here, 2, 3. Legato and then lift up between the phrases. 2 and 3. 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Fourth finger on the C. Reach down. Play this legato with the fingers. And then substitute the thumb for that, and then lift up and go here. You don't need to do the substitution. It's between a phrase. You can just as easily lift up and move. But if you want to feel your way around the keyboard, then you need to put the thumb on that so you can keep that as your anchor as you're moving up. And then you lift up. And that is an E natural in that measure. Because that E flat is only good for that one note. When you get over to page 22, third line down with the chords, because the left hand gets the melody, you got to keep these soft and try and play them as legato as you can with the hands. You can't do it entirely, but just don't. No. You have to feel this. This is a legato piece. So you got to feel that even with these chords. Softly, or they say sort of soft. I suggest you keep it soft. You got an F natural there at the end of that. The fingering for the most part is up to you. What are you comfortable with? 1 and 2. Top of page 23. 5 and then a 3. And then third measure, I recommend you do a 1, 5. So the 1 on the first one, then a 5. Then lift up, this new phrase. Don't forget the F sharp. Then 1 and 2. Try and connect the top note. You can't connect the bottom note. Try and connect the top note. Here. And then again, connect the top note if you can. And then on the half note, I recommend on the 5 that you substitute a 4 after you play it. Just hold the F sharp down here, and that way you can connect the melody here. It's a little more advanced fingering, but you're getting up there, so why not give it a shot? So again, the second line, carefully, it's here, here, and then hold the G down as you do that, and then here, and then substitute, and then you get the whole thing that way. Then you can lift up at the end, and you get the rest of it. Left hand, keep the left hand soft because it's the melodies, for the most part, the left hand gets melody part way through, but for the most part, keep it soft. At the beginning, they're saying 2. That's okay. There's other fingerings you can do. If you don't mind, that's a little more comfortable, but this position is basically where you're at, so if you just want to stay there, that's fine. I typically, when it stretches out this much, I like to use third finger here, but you can use second, it's fine. So I would end up using third finger on all those Ds. Here. Second finger's fine, if you'd rather. Second line, second measure, come down. I still prefer third finger on. To me, that's just easier. Here. And then coming down, and then back up. You're moving around a little bit. Go down to the last line on page 21. It's here. They're saying here. I prefer fourth finger on that F sharp. This is a chord, and this is how, I mean, it's the arpeggio for the chord. This is how I'd finger it. I'd put a fourth finger here, and then back to what you were doing. third line down on page 22, melody, 2, 3. Bring it out a little bit. Then thumb, fourth finger. Now lift up for the phrase. 3, 4. 2. I would put thumb on that E, but it just makes it a little easier. And 3, 1, 3, 2. It's up to you there at the end, and come down. Top of page 23. This is a C minor arpeggio, and the fingering was to put a fourth finger on the E flat, not third. So I recommend a 4-2 on these, all of them. Same thing here, 4-2. Don't forget the F sharp. Then at the bottom, the last couple measures. And then you get treble clef, you cross over. They said LH over. You don't need that. You'll figure it out. It's treble clef, you're up here. So you have to cross over to get that. Work it out one hand at a time and make sure you can get these notes legato as best you can. You can't do them all, but do the best you can. And then put them together. Keep in mind, we want to hear the melody. Keep this left hand soft. You're sort of soft at the beginning, but when the right hand comes in, it should be sort of soft. So the left hand has to come down to soft right there. And sort of soft. One little fingering thing I might suggest, since I'm here, I didn't do it before. The last line on page 21, first measure in the right hand, it has a 3 and you put a thumb on it. You don't have to. You can play that note with thumb right off the bat. Because you were here before, put the thumb under it. Just put thumb on it. You don't need a substitution there. But lift up for a new phrase. Page 22, the end of the second line, you're finishing it up. Now the roles are switched. Now the left hand gets to play out and the right hand has to play softly. Sounds weird there at the bottom. The last line, second measure there on page 22. It's because of this nonsense. But that's it. That's the harmony. I'm sorry, that's what it is. So forth throughout the rest of it. The bottom of page 23 in that last line, you're here. Now there's a ritardando here where you're going to start getting slower. Slower. And then both notes here all come up at the same time with the pedal and all that. Let's add pedal. We want to smooth this out. This is a tricky piece because you got different fingers and the hands going down at different times and it's just ugh. We're going to overlap pedal this, pretty much changing it on every measure. I'd still like to hear the phrasing. So I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. I'm going to change the pedal at the measure line. I'm going to push the note down first and then change it. I'd like to hear the phrasing here, so I'm going to lift the pedal. You're going to get silent in both hands because the left hand has to move, but I'd still like to hear that phrase. So the second line is here. again, I'm going to lift the pedal at the end of the second line so I get this silence in the right hand. The left hand, I'm going to get silence because I got to move again, but alright, I'm sorry, that's the way it is. And here, the last line, first measure here, I'm going to lift the pedal with the right hand so I get silence here. Or you can pedal it legato all the way through, but you'll lose the phrasing if you do that. Even if you do lose the phrasing because of the pedal, still lift up with the hand. At least go through the motion of the phrasing, whether you can hear it or not. Page 22, into the second line, you're here. Here again, I would lift up so I get silence before going on. Now here, we want to hear the left hand. And I am trying to play these as legato as I can. End of the third line, get that pedal change on the last, because we changed harmony there, and then go on. And again, pedal, pedal. Follow their pedaling, it's fine. Now, it's my taste. You can pedal it exactly the way it's showing on the last two measures of 22. They're holding the pedal down for the whole thing. Because you're crescendoing up and building all this extra sound helps the crescendo. I still like it to be clean, so I would change it, and I wouldn't even pedal that last measure. I can still crescendo. And again, I'm going to lift the pedal up with the hand. Follow their pedaling here in the second line of page 23, it's fine. You're getting softer here, and I'm going to lift up at the end of the line so I get silence here. I'm going to hold the left hand down and play it legato. Here I can play it legato. But the right hand I want silence. So the last two measures of the second line is here. And again, I'm going to lift it up the pedal so phrase here. So again, the third line. Again. Slow down. Here you can go ahead and leave the pedal down through the whole thing. There, it's fine. That's a personal thing. You can pedal it exactly the way. Maybe you don't like these silences in between the thing, and that's okay. Then cover them up. I prefer to hear the phrasing. Speed-wise, it's not fast or slow. I think it's about where I've been playing it. You got to get to know the piece first, and then you can start feeling it, and really that's where the dynamics come in, and the feeling of it. And you'll feel it different at different times, so you'll play it differently at different times, I hope. I don't recommend playing a piece exactly the same over and over and over. Now, another type of pedaling you can try here, just experiment, is let's go back to the beginning of page 21. Here in the left hand, they've got the pedal through all of this. What you can do is pedal it every 2 beats. trying to retard here. You don't have to. It's a personal thing. It's an interpretive. You got a little louder here. See, my tendency is to want to pedal it every couple of beats to clear out some of the sound so it doesn't get too terribly blurry. But the name is Starlight, and that kind of implies a mystical blurriness, ethereal whatever to it, so pedal it the way they're showing if you'd like. It would be nice over on page 22, third line down, not to have to pedal these eighth notes, but we have to pedal them because we want to connect the right hand, and we need the pedal for that. So if I don't pedal the eighth notes, then you get a little bit of silence in there. Not much, but a little bit. So to cover that up, we have to pedal it. So just follow their pedaling. And that's the book.